Hello everyone. My agent, got in contact with me saying that Ajax were very impressed with my last two recovery jobs that I'd done at Fiorentina and Girona, and decided, hey, do you think you could get us to win the title? Sure, we're only 16 points off top spot. Well, it's fine. Look, Champions League is only 3 points away. The title on their hand, that's something else. So, I decided to come to the wonderful city of Amsterdam. I've been given an allowance by the club to sample some of the vegetation around the city. So it's going to be an interesting style that we're going to go for. This squad is in a bit of a state. Two players nearly left me. Morrow, who's a left winger, he nearly left. And Tomiyasu, as you can see, has been approached. And I cannot give him a new deal. So it looks like we're going to be losing Tomiyasu. Well, not immediately. It's going to be a pre-contract, so it's not necessarily going to bother us here. But this is the squad that we're going with. I've got a few positions that I'm going to look to upgrade. One is going to be goalkeeper. We've got a 41-year-old in there. He's getting upgraded. We're going to try upgrade to left back. Now, they will eventually need a right back because Tomiyasu will be leaving. But for now, we'll just look for a left back. I'd also like another central midfielder. Someone a little bit better than Van den Boomen. Possibly CDM, because this Itakura fella, he's actually a centre back. So, I mean, he can play there, sure, but I'd rather a defence midfielder, to be quite honest with you. They're the position we're going to go for. We've got the GOAT, Veldkorst, coming back. Look at him go. Oh, he's amazing. I love this guy from his time at Man United. But he's going to be out for a little bit. Same with Tomiyasu for a couple of games until we get back. The wingers I'm happy enough with. They're fine. Who have I got lined up? Well, let's have a look then, shall we? I've sent off Ajax's best scouts, and they've come back telling me that these are some of the people that I should be looking at. This Waldschmidt fella used to be a striker. He had one breakout season, went to shit, and now he's an attack midfielder, so we could probably get him. Sabitzer, I'd love to have him in here. He'd be incredible. In terms of like other positions, this Barrero fella from Luxembourg, he could be quite good. This Dahl fella is probably my main for a left back and goalkeeper. I'm looking at Trubin, but again, we have 42 mil to spend, so thanks for the Ajax board for giving me that. But we'll see what happens. First of all, we've got to get through our first game against Go Ahead Eagles, who are actually fourth, I believe. And as usual, we just sim the first game, and then we go month by month in terms of how we do, and we win 3-1. Immediately having a good start. This reminds me of the Fiorentina job that I done a little bit ago. And look at this. We have a Champions League game and we are 34th. I don't think there's any way we can survive in Champions League. We can get 9 points max. Is that enough to get us in? It is actually enough to get us in, but we're asking an awful lot here. Like, we could get as high as 16th if results really, really go our way, but we're asking an awful lot here. Like, our goal difference is so bad. I don't know, we'd have to win by a good bit if we want to get anything out of this game. And unfortunately, there is confirmation that Tomiyasu will be leaving in the summer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have made our first signing. And it is my star signing. My main signing, Marcel Sabitzer. He's back in the club. Well, I say back in the club, but he's back under my leadership. I did do a Dortmund Can I Save Their Season last year, probably this time last year actually. And Spitzer was fantastic in that. So brought him back in this time. We still have a couple more players to try and get before we move on. But we have about 30 mil left to spend after blowing a lot of the budget. Alright, we've made our second signing. This time we've sorted out the left back position with Samuel Dahl from Benfica for 13.8 mil. I think I might have overpaid on the wage department, but look, it's fine. We'll get him in there. 75 rating, he's already 4 ratings better. Now then, there's goalkeeper. And I'm not sure if we'll have enough for another midfielder, but we can make it work. Right, we've made a third and final signing, as I won't be able to get another central midfielder in. With Altay Bayindir from United. He wasn't on my shortlist, but I kind of just crossed my mind, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe he deserves a shot redemption after his woeful stint at Man United. And typically you'd argue it's an easier league, but he's not coming into a team that's on form. We're very much out of the loop at the moment. Now, on top of that, in order to fund all these signings, I did have to make some sales. So, Sean Sturr left for 1.8 mil. Steven Berghuis left for 6.5 mil. There were other people that were in negotiations to leave, but they didn't quite go. And that is how the team is looking going into, well, the crucial part of the season from February onwards. Would have been nice to have an actual centre midfielder so we could put Eredivise back down here, but I don't think that's going to be happening. So Sabitzer is going to have to play a bit further up the pitch than what I was hoping. Okay, let's see how we got on in February with all of our fantastic signings. We drew against NEC Breda, beat Fortuna Sittard, beat Go Ahead Eagles in the Cup, drew to Alkmaar, who actually beat Ajax 5-0, I'm pretty sure it was. They beat Excelsior as well. So we should probably go over the January ones as well. I completely forgot to go over the January results. Apologies. Beat Go Ahead Eagles 3-1 because that's where we started. We lost to Villarreal in the Champions League. We drew with Olympiacos in the Champions League as well, so we're out of that. But to be fair, we had a massive mountain to climb when I took over. And then following them, we beat them. So, where does this leave us in the league? Well, not great, but it's 21 points now. It was, how much was it when we took over? 16 points. Somehow they've got more. They've gotten further ahead, but we are in second now by a point. We have a game in hand on PSV, but it's going to be a real ask to get this title. But Champions League football, I think the Ajax board would be happy enough to accept that. Even the cup run as well. All right, let's see how we done in March. Then there's a few games in March, so we won every game in the league except, and we lost the only game in the cup. Sorry. We lost 2-1 in the cup, which is a bit unfortunate, but we did beat Feyenoord in the league, so we kind of got our own back on them. But alas, it's only 18 points now between myself and PSV, and I'm pretty sure PSV have won this. I think there's only 34 games in the Eredivise. I'd have to check that to double check because I don't actually play in the Eredivise ever. Well, yeah, there we go. Champions League is getting very secure now. Like, we're 9 points ahead of the Europa League spot, 6 points ahead of the qualification for the Champions League playoffs. So I think we're doing very solid in that regard. Right, that's how we done in April. Sorry, the board aren't very approving of my tactics at the moment, but I feel like we're doing all right. Really, like, we've won every game. Like, in fact, I think we've only lost 3 games in charge. We lost to Feyenoord in the cup. And we lost to Villarreal. In fact, we've only lost 2 games since they took over, and we drew, what, 3? Yeah, we've lost 2, drawn 3, won every other game. My win record is in the 70%. And the board hate me for it. Like, yeah, okay, right, PSV, they've won the league. They've won the league by a mile. Like, the most amount of points I can get is 77. Like, I'm not even close to catching them up. Well, I'm pretty sure, in fact, we have qualified for the Champions League. There's still a chance we could go through the playoffs, but hopefully we just qualify outright. Even then, I feel like the board have been very harsh on me here. I joined at a very difficult point in the season where I'm pretty sure PSV were, 18 points clear? They're 18 points clear still, but we've solidified our Champions League spot. I feel like they're being a bit harsh on me there with that, with their thoughts here. They should be praising me for the great work I've done in stabilising the ship. Okay, right, well, in May, we absolutely just fell off a cliff. We lost every game. But we have to hope that... Oh, my God. Feyenoord just came back. I don't know what happened there. We just collapsed in May. Well, we took over in 3rd, and we finished in 3rd. We did guarantee... We did guarantee Champions League. Now, it is a playoff. I just don't know what happened. Like, we've lost 5 games total, drawn 3, and then won every other game. So it's still a really good result. Like, our performance was actually very good. But we kind of left Ajax where they are now. Of course, their squad is so much better. I don't know what caused that drop. Most appearances went to Klassen. Yeah, he was the captain. That makes sense. Most goals went to Felcourse. He's the GOAT. It makes sense. Most assists went to Sabitzer. In fact, he only joined at the end of January, so from February onwards. He's only here 4 months and he's already the top assister. No goals, which is unfortunate. And most clean sheets went to Bayindir. Again, he only fucking joined in February. Brilliant for everyone all around. Like, my signing's done well. My signing's really, really done well. It's just a shame we got knocked out of the quarters of the cup. We got grouped in the Champions League, and in the league we finished third. But overall, this squad is in a really good position. It's in a very good position to go on next season and do something. Money well spent, I think. What was it, 38 million I spent? Fantastic amount of money that I spent there. But with that, gamers, I'm not even sure, is this a success? I mean, I feel like this is a 50-50 because in terms of my manager performance, this is fantastic. But in terms of position and guaranteed qualification Champions League, it's a failure. So I'm going to put this one as a draw. I can go either way, but we'll call this one null. That's unfortunate, but we'll see what my agents have to cook me up for next week and see what we can do there. Because I feel like maybe one or two boards might be looking at my fantastic performance there and saying, you know what, maybe he'll do better in a different league. But we're just going to have to wait and find out.